Hey guys, Jarek here, and I'm going to be playing a game called Project M. What is Project M? I'm going to read this off their website because they do a much better job explaining this than I do. Project M is a community-made mod for Brawl inspired by Super Smash Bros. Melee's gameplay. So this is a Super Smash Bros. Brawl mod. The project goal is to create a fast-paced game with flowing natural movement where the player has a great degree of control over his character due to technical skill that he has achieved. The balance of offense and defense changes depending on the exact matchup and playstyle, but overall it tends to favor offense slightly. Offstage edge guarding is risky but rewarding, while onstage edge guarding is safer but less rewarding. Recoveries generally require great skill to use, with the advantage usually being on the edge guarding player, with some exceptions. The combos are challenging and spontaneous, with anything longer than 2 to 3 hits requiring a great knowledge of both characters' options and some degree of prediction and or deep understanding of the mental aspect of the game. Too long didn't read version, this is a mod for Brawl that tries to change it back into the gameplay that Melee had. I love the people that are making this mod. It's not completely done. It's currently in demo status. As you can see, I'm playing the demo 2.6 version, so it's nowhere close to being done. But I love the makers of this mod because I loved Super Smash Bros. Melee. I dumped hundreds and hundreds of hours into that game. Now, it wasn't one of the top 100 best in the world or anything like that, but I was way above average when it came to being good at Melee. I was heavily disappointed by Brawl. Nintendo did everything in Brawl to try to close the skill gap, to really try to let the newer player have some sort of a chance. Basically, they casualized Super Smash Bros., and after Melee being so competitive, you just don't do that. Well, I can definitely say that Project M does a pretty good job of recreating the gameplay that Melee had. If you want to play this mod yourself, you can play this on your Wii using an SD card, or you can play this through an emulator. The install process for the emulator is quite a bit lengthier than the install process for the Wii, but overall it's pretty simple and not too complicated. I put a link down below in the video information on how to install it for an emulator, which is the way I'm currently playing it, and I'm recording it using a program called DX3. So watch that video if you want to know how to install it. If you want to install it on the Wii, go to the website. I'm sorry, I can't really help you. But yeah, please don't ask me how to install it or how to play the game. Watch the video. It literally gives you a step-by-step process, and everything you need to know is right there. That's how I learned how to install it, and it works like a charm. So let's go ahead and launch the game. And once again, this is the demo version. It's not done yet. And of course, like I said, I'm playing this through an emulator, so it might hang every now and again. It might stutter. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm also recording it. It doesn't seem to stutter too much when I'm not recording, but when I'm recording, it does.
Choose your character.
As you notice, the characters are a little bit different. Now, they're not done. They're still adding characters and still tweaking all of the characters and changing them. The first thing you might have noticed is that the Pokemon Trainer is gone. Instead of the Pokemon Trainer, now you have a pretty lengthy list of Pokemon you can play as. Lucario's still there, Pikachu's still there, so is Jigglypuff. But now you have Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard all being separate characters that you can play as. Let me go ahead and show you the way Charizard plays. I'm not too great at the way Charizard plays. My main has always been Marth, so I'll use just a regular NPC at, let's just say, level 3. They also added some new levels. Metal Cavern is here. This just seems to be a good solid competitive level. Dracula's Castle, which kind of surprised me that they would add anything Castlevania related. You can tell it's Castlevania by the whip. Maybe in the future they'll be adding in a Belmont character. Who knows? As you can see, they also added a Skyward Sword map. And page 2, I'm just looking through all the maps here. Saffron City. This one actually really surprised me. So they added a new map. This is a Pokemon map, obviously, on Saffron City, which is pretty damn awesome. The textures are a little bit low res, but it's Saffron City. I'm not going to bitch about that. That's pretty sweet. Hyrule Castle. I don't remember that one. This is not Hyrule Temple, so that seems to be a little different. But let's go ahead and play on Saffron City.
3, 2, 1, go!
So the main advantage to Charizard is that they made him a very floaty character, and you can actually quadruple jump if you wish to. And really the biggest advantage of Charizard is he has a lot of aerial moves that are very strong now. So you can off people down a map, especially if you want to hit them straight down. He just kind of killed himself. If you want to hit people straight down, that move is very, very strong. Hit people to the side, or really in any direction in the air, and you do a very good job of hitting people. It seems like most of his moves on the ground also hit them straight upward, so this seems to be a very aerial-made character. Now, I'll do a pretty bad job at showing off Charizard because Charizard isn't my main. I'm not very good with them. I don't really use them a whole lot. And hey, I just installed this mod today. Like that is a very easy way to knock people down and gimp them out of any kills, really. And despite being a very big and almost slow character, he really can get around. So you can fly all over the map and avoid people pretty easy. He's one of those annoying floaty characters that just seems to be impossible to get out of the map. Now, like I said, not everything is done. It's still in demo form, so I'm sure they'll make some changes to Charizard. Alright, so the game crashed right as I won that last match, but I still got it recorded, so nothing lost right there. I did forget to mention that the music that plays on the Saffron City map is usually older Pokemon music, more fitting to the Kanto region since Saffron City is in Kanto, but there is a little bit of randomness when it comes to the music that plays, so you may get new Pokemon music, no real big deal, but felt like pointing that out. Alright, so let's focus on Marth now. Marth is my main. Marth has always been my main. That's always been the character that I preferred to play as. In Melee, I would switch between Marth and Roy, although Marth was a better character. I prefer to kind of switch it up every now and again. Now, Marth in Brawl was quite a bit different. The range had been drastically changed because they held the sword so much differently. In this mod, Marth has gotten the full melee range back in full force. Combo is easier to do, you still have the grabbing range. Basically, this is the melee Marth, and I love that. I love the modders for bringing back the way he played in Melee. That was one of the biggest complaints I had about Brawl, is that they took away Roy and that they changed Marth so drastically. Really, the only thing that they didn't change from Brawl is the up B triple jump move. Seems to be just as strong as it was in Brawl, which definitely does seem to be a little bit stronger in Brawl than it was in Melee. But let's go ahead and go to Final Destination, and I'll show off some Marth on a level 9 CPU. So it feels very natural, although it does still feel like a sequel. It doesn't completely replicate the Marth in the way it did in Melee, but, you know, they did a pretty damn good job of it. I'm not going to really complain about that anyway, because it's not a sequel if it's the same game. The only thing I wanted them to do is bring back the competitive nature of... Get off me. Bring back the competitive nature of Melee. Although I'm doing a pretty bad job showing it off right now. I'm also using a 360 controller, which is nowhere near as responsive as a GameCube controller, so it makes playing this a little bit awkward. Oh yeah, I forgot about grabbing. You can still do the chain grabbing as before. Although he's too damaged for me to really show that off. I totally messed that one up. I could have easily downed him right there by doing the down slash. That's still a thing. It's still just as deadly as it was in Melee, and I used the hell out of it, but aerial moves have always been my downfall when it comes to this game. I don't know what it quite is, but I have never been too amazing at aerial moves. And that goes for any Super Smash Bros. Game. Fuck. Get out of here. I'm doing downright shitty right now. I don't know what it is. There we go. That's really what I was trying to show off, is you can still do the down slash. So that was a pretty terrible presentation of Marth, but you can get the general idea. Marth is still Marth, it still plays like Marth, and the Melee Marth is back. Thank God. And really, I could say the same thing about any of the other characters that are back from Melee. They made Fox and Falco. Really, Fox, Falco, and Marth are the main... And the main NPC... These are the main characters that almost everyone used in competitions. Now, there was a great deal of variety there. People did still use Peach every now and again. Some of the best players actually ended up using Peach, so you could see everyone using any different type of character, and that's really what they're aiming to bring back. So I think this has been a pretty decent presentation of Project M. I'll probably stop the recording right here. Really, the only thing you need to know is that this is a mod for Brawl that brings back the way Melee played. And if you missed Melee that much, I would highly recommend checking out this mod. It's definitely worth looking at. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.